Hey, here we are at the closing. Isn't this exciting? What can you expect now? A lot of times our settlement statement comes at the very last moment. I would love to have the settlement statement a week ahead of time. What is the settlement statement? The settlement statement says, here was the purchase price, here are all of the expenses, here's the check that you're going to get, right? Don't you want to know what that check is going to be? Yes. And I want to make sure that it's right. And we've got somebody in-house who reviews those and checks them all the time. There are times that we don't get them until 24 hours ahead of time, sometimes the morning of closing, and that's just terrible. We are checking, we're trying to make sure that everything is done accurately and correctly. When you get to the closing table, oftentimes what's going to happen is that the buyer is going to go first. The buyer has to go in there and sign like this much paper. The reason for that is because they've got to sign all of their promises to pay the bank back when they're getting the loan and all of those bits. So if you can imagine, that much paperwork takes a bit of time to get through. And so they'll go through that. It'll probably take about 35 minutes is about average of what I see. So they get through all of that paperwork. Then what happens? It's your turn. And for whatever reason, it's just tradition, it's the way things go right now, is that they will excuse the buyers, they'll bring you in, and you have like that much paperwork, but somehow they still manage to make it take about 15 minutes. If you've got questions on the paperwork or you want to read through it all, hopefully we can get that to you ahead of closing. We can't always, so you always get the choice if you want to read it. They've got it all highlighted, marked exactly where to go, and basically it's just going to transfer ownership from you to them. As soon as that is done, then they'll invite the buyers back and we'll talk and do our little things. And sometimes it takes a little bit of time to get the money because what happens is the wire gets sent to the title company and it has like a padlock on it or a code before they can actually process it. And so once the buyer signs all their paperwork, they zip that off to the banker, and the banker has somebody looking over the file and to make sure that all of the things are signed the way that they're supposed to be. And once that's all complete, then they tell the title company to go ahead and release the funds. If it's a bank that's not there at closing, if it's a bank that's there at closing, they generally have the check with them at that time. So sometimes you have to wait around for a little bit, but generally speaking, you're done within an hour. That includes all the chitty chat time where you're going to tell them, hey, this is when trash day is. These are kind of the cool things that we do in the neighborhood, you know, parties and stuff. And then a lot of times you'll exchange information, contact information, in case they have a question about, I don't know, how to turn the water off, you know, when they go on vacation, or just little quirky things that they might find in your house. Or maybe they just want to send you pictures as they update it and make it look really, really cool. Who knows? But anyway, that's what you can expect as we head to closing. That'll be the last step. And before we get there, again, I want to reiterate to you, if there's anything that's happened, or if there's anything that you need to get you back up to that 5-star level of service that we've been seeking to provide you this entire time, please let me know. I want to make that right. I want to make it good for you. I want this to be the best and most smooth real estate transaction that you've ever had in your life. And I want it to stay that way forever. Nobody can beat us. All right. Hey, I've only got one video left, so be looking for that. Congratulations on making it to this far. Get all that paperwork signed, and we'll talk soon. Take care.